Hi, this is Keshav of CSC Data Science. Today our topic was session tracking. What is the need of session tracking? Session tracking is a capability of a server to maintain the current state of a single client sequential requests. Why session tracking? When clients at one line store add item to the shopping cart, how does server know what's already in the cart? Means the tracking of the session is called as session tracking simply. When the client decides to proceed to checkout, how can server determine which previously created cart is this? There are three typical solutions to this problem: cookies, URL rewriting, and hidden form fields. Cookies. What are cookies? Cookies, we can use the cookies to store an ID for a shopping session. With each subsequent connection, you can look up the current session ID, then use that ID to extract information about that session from a lookup table on the server machine. String session ID. Make unique string. Hashmap session info is equal to new hashmap. Hashmap global table is equal to find table storing sessions. Global table put session ID session info. Servlets have higher level API that handles the following tasks: extracting cookie from the store's session identifier, setting appropriate expiration time of a cookie, associating the hash tables with each request. Hidden form fields. Hidden form fields is an invisible text field used for the maintain the state of the user. HTML forms can have the entry that look like the following. This entry means that the form is submitted a specified name and the value automatically included in get or post data. This hidden field can be used to store information about the session. Advantage: works even if the cookies are disabled or unsupported. Disadvantages: lots of tedious processing. All page must be the result in the form submissions. It only works if every page is dynamically generated by a form submission. Session tracking using HTTP session. Servlets provide the outstanding session tracking solution. The HTTP session API, which a high-level interface, is built on the top of cookies or URL rewriting. Using sessions in the servlets involves the four basic steps: as accessing the session object associated with the current request, call request get session to get the HTTP session object with the simple hash table for the storing user-specific data. It returns the current session associated with the request. If no session ID is found, the incoming cookie or attached URL information, the system creates new empty session. HTTP session request.getSession false, which returns runs if no session is already exists the current client. Looking up the information associated with the session. Call get attribute on the HTTP session object, cast the return value to the appropriate type, and check whether the result is null. Session get attribute key, which returns the previously stored value associated with the given key attribute. It returns an object type and must typecast the specific type of the data. It returns a null if there is no such attribute. Storing information in a session. Use set attribute with a key and a value to store the information. Session get set attribute. Discarding the session data. Remove only the data or the servlet created. Call remove attribute to discard the value associated with the specific key. Delete the whole session in the current web application. You can invalidate to discard the entire session. Log the user out and edit all the sessions belonging him or her. You can call logout. The logout client of the web server will invalidate all the sessions associated with the user. And here's session tracking API. Methods available in the HTTP session. Public object get attribute string name. This method extracts a previously stored value from the session object. It returns null if no value is associated with the given name. This method returns the names of all attributes in the session. Public void set attribute. This method associates a value with a name. If the object supplied to the set attribute implements the HTTP session binding listener interface, the object's value bound method is called after the stored in the session. Similarly, if the previous value implements the HTTP session binding listener, its value unbound method is called. These are some of the methods. This method logs the client of the web server and invalidates all sessions associated with the client. This method returns a unique identifier generated for each session. This method returns a value if the client or the browser has never seen a session. It returns false for the pre-existing sessions. Public long get creation time. This method returns the time in the milliseconds since midnight, January 1st, 1970, which the session was first built. The public long get last access time. Encoding URLs sent to the client. If you use a URL rewriting for the session tracking, there are two possible situations in which you might use URLs that refer to your own site. Code that generates hypertext links to back the same site. URLs are embedded in the web page that a servlet generates. These URLs should be passed through the encode URL method of the HTTP servlet response. If the server using cookies, this returns the URL unchanged. If the server using URL rewriting, this appends the session info to the URL. The servlet that shows per client access counts. And here is a code. You can observe it. And here is the continuation code. And here is the servlet that shows per client access counts. First visit. And you can see the tracking example. Yeah, there the ID will be shown, creation type and time of the last access. And here are some of the examples. Session tracking with servlets. All servlets implement the servlet interface or extend the class that implements it. Important methods. Init, also init service destroy, get servlet config, get servlet inflow. Common methods. We use HTTP servlet and these methods: go get, do post, do put, do delete, init, destroy, get servlet info. One of those methods must be overridden for the each servlet. Session tracking. Four ways to maintain state: cookies, hidden forms, hidden fields and forms, URL rewriting, servlets. Cookies. A single value and optional attributes such as common path, domain identifier, maximum age, and the version number. Some of the web browsers have bugs in how they handle the optional attributes, so use them sparingly to improve the interoperability of the servlets. The servlet sends the cookies to the browser using the HTTP servlet response add cookie JavaX servlet HTTP cookie method, which adds fields to HTTP response and has to send the cookies. Processing cookies with Java. A cookie is an object of the Java class. Methods to use this with the cookie object. There are some of the methods are public cookie, public string get name, public string get value, public void get value, so set value, string val, public void set max age, int expiry, sets the maximum age of the cookie in seconds. And here are the some of the more methods. Public void set path, Java lang string URL, public Java lang string get path, public string get domain, public void set domain. Thank you.